Hey y'all, we're back. My name's Nikki. I'm the rec director here. This is
My name is Camden, and I work here at Snowbird.
awesome. Yeah, so we're here today just to talk to you a little bit about recreation options we have, why we do rec, how you'll get trained, things like that. And so just like everything else you've been hearing today, the way we do recreation, we want it to just come along and drive the mission statement. And so we're not gonna on recreation, we're not going to use it as like a metaphor for life or the Christian walk. But what we do want to do is take that portion of the mission statement about building relationships so that we can have deeper gospel driven conversations. So whether you're riding a bus or standing in the line while students wait for rec, we want you to take those opportunities to build relationships so that you're able to go deeper, whether you're sitting at a meal or in a share group situation. So we just want to create a shared experience so that you can build deeper relationships in order to have those deeper conversations with students about the gospel. So that's really the philosophy that drives the recreation we do. Bring kids in, build relationships so that we can go deeper and have those conversations we need to have. And so you want to add anything to that, Camden?
Yeah, I would just say, like it can seem kind of silly, on the front end that somehow, using recreation, using a zip line or a swing or a river, like how that can play into a ministry, but it really, really does like fulfill that component of like building relationship with these students and having those shared experiences. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been in small groups with students and they might have been like ice cold, like not wanting to talk to me at all. And then we go down the river together. And then after that, it's just like everything's wide open. We're friends, we're hanging out. It's awesome. We're having great conversations that we can then get to turn towards the gospel. And so it really is like a tool that you've got to approach thinking like, yeah, man, this truly is like helping me share the gospel with these students, even though it may not seem like it on the surface. And it's a really, really cool aspect of what we get to do here that you don't typically get to do in like a church or ministry or something like that.
Yeah. And so for a good portion of your day every day, you're just going to get to play on really cool swings and towers and swim on lakes and rivers and just play for a portion of your job in order to share the gospel. So it's a really cool opportunity. So we have several off-campus and on-campus recreations that you'll be able to sign up to work. And so for our off-campus recreations, we have the Nantahala River, so you can get to be trained to be a river guide, lake tubing on Nantahala Lake, canoeing, river tubing, hiking, horseback riding, the Coe River, which you won't be like trained to guide, but cool opportunity again, just hang out with kids. And then laser tag, which happens over at our North Campus property. And then on campus, we have a lot of challenge course elements and shooting elements. So we have things like the 3-man swing, the aerial park, the climbing tower, the zip line, the poopy pole. We just built a new swing. We have shooting recs, gun range where we got some shotguns, shoot clay pigeons. We got paintball, archery tag, which is like dodgeball with bows and arrows. So that's fun. You get to shoot your friends, your youth pastors, all that, and archery. And then we have the water slide up at the pool. If high adventure recreation isn't really your thing, we always need people also to work the snack shack. And then we also are putting in a new dry tubing slide. So this summer we'll have 3 new recs to sign up to work. So that's the new dry tubing slide, which is basically like winter snow tubing year round. We revamped laser tag, so the building's dark and there's a lot of cool, crazy, flashy lights and loud music. So it's gonna be really cool. Be like if you went and paid to play laser tag somewhere. And then we have a new swing. So if you ever rode the Goliath swing, we have the new and improved, bigger, better Goliath swing, which we're still looking for a name. So send your name suggestions in. The only 2 we have so far are the Nephilim and the Bashwinga. So if you can beat those, drop a line in the comments.
Well, you forgot about also the 4th new rec that people can sign up for. The new and improved putt course, putt rec.
That's true. I did forget
clubs, and
I did forget the putt rec, which also will be actually new and improved. So you can also sign up to work that. I know there's always a lot of questions coming in about working rec and being ready and how can you prepare for that. and really will train you in-house for everything you need to know. So you don't have to come in with any type of certification or background or training of any sort in challenge course elements or river guiding or canoeing or anything like that. What we'll do is during our 2 weeks of staff training, every afternoon we'll dedicate just to recreation training. And so every afternoon you'll spend 4 to 5 hours learning the hard skill, the philosophy, risk management, everything you need to know. And then at the end of those 2 weeks, we will have a certification test. We'll get you ready to pass those. Everybody will get certified at the end of those. And then in the middle of the summer, we'll go ahead and do a recertification test on you so that you keep your proficiency up and all your certifications are checked off for the summer.
Again, if you like, don't stress out about the certification test. Like if you can't pass that, we always need people to work the snack shack.
Yeah, and we'll get you ready. If you need extra time to work on a skill, we'll put you in the best position we can for you to succeed, because we want you to succeed to be able to enjoy your summer, because that's going to really allow you to focus on building those relationships with your students. Yeah. So don't stress about being ready or rec training and testing. We'll get you guys where you need to be to be able to pass those tests at the end. But if you do have certifications, that is super helpful. So we always need lifeguards. We need about 6 or 7 lifeguards to be able to run up to industry standards. So if you have lifeguard certification, that's awesome. We always need those, and that gets you more likely to get the recreation that you like. So if you have lifeguard certification, you're coming in ahead of the game.
Or other things like CPR, first aid.
Yeah, CPR, Wolfer,
Yeah,
things like that. If you have those are a plus, and we definitely need those. It saves us time in training. If you come in with those, we don't have to train as many people to get those certifications, which gives us more time on the rec elements so that you can pass your test. So if you have those certifications, great. If you don't, it's not a problem at all. We'll get you where you need to be. So yeah, we'll train you, like we said, for 2 weeks. We'll test you out at the end to make sure you're ready to go when students get here. And for signing up for recs to see what you're going to get, we have a weekend orientation, staff orientation in the spring. And at that event, you will sign up. You'll give us your top 2 or 3 choices of on-campus rec and top 2 or 3 choices of an off-campus rec. And we'll go through those lists, those requests, and we'll try to get everybody on one of those recs that you requested. It doesn't always happen, but most likely you will get one of the requests that you made. It is hard. Everybody's going to say they want to be on the lake and river. Only like 17 people get that out of 120. So there, you might not get your top choice, but we're going to do everything we can to get you something that you would like to work and enjoy doing. Yeah, go ahead.
Question.
Will there be a new and improved foam pit? Unfortunately, not in the cards right now. If you can come up with a way to disinfect a new and improved foam pit, we might rethink it. Oh,
How
yeah.
would you even improve the foam pit?
A ball pit. My suggestion is a ball pit.
You want to talk about the river a little bit?
Super refreshing. What should we talk about for the river?
Yeah, like what in particular would you like us to talk about on the river?
Well, what's the training like?
Okay, so yeah, training on the river is the same. We'll do 2 weeks of training on the river. So you and another trainee will be in a boat together. You guys will take turns guiding the river. So one day you'll guide half of it. The next day you'll guide the other half. Is typically how it works. And you'll spend the whole time just learning the flow of the river. So which rapid comes next, what things do you need to avoid, how to control a boat, how to rescue people out of the water if they fall in, things like that. So same thing as all the challenge course and other stuff. 2 weeks of training where you'll just go down the river every day, play hard, learn how to play hard, learn how to lead in playing hard. And at the end, you'll also have a test to make sure you know where things are that you need to know.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, you might be coming into the summer with this expectation of like, oh, well, rec is not going to be, a difficult part of the job because, it's just fun. We're just out here playing. But one of the things that I love to talk about when we're training people on the river, and this applies to every single rec at camp, is, just remembering always that it's not about you.
Mhm.
Like there's going to be days when it's rainy or you're just tired and like you're not going to feel like you want to go and play and have a lot of fun on a river, but you're going to do it anyway because, man, that's what the kids are here for. They get that one river trip or they get that one time going down the 3-man swing or going down the zip line. And it's your job to say, man, let me give of myself in this moment to let these kids have a fun, good, memorable experience that's just going to build these like positive moments that, again, all of that plays into how we're sharing the gospel with people, how we're building relationships. And so there's no piece of it that it's, oh, I'm just working the snack shack, oh, I'm just clipping people in on the zip line. But it's always, man, how can I give of myself in this moment to make this moment as good as possible for these students so that ultimately we can share the gospel effectively with them. Like that's it all ties in together like that all the time. And like I think that's what we look for in people who are especially going to be doing the more demanding recs. Like, man, can you maintain that positive attitude?
Yeah. Yeah, I think especially river, probably the most comes in that positive attitude and hardworking of the mission statement because we all know the water is refreshing slash the water's cold. And so you're gonna have to, I know, next time we go, you can throw me in.
Yeah.
So when there's gonna be days where you're like, I do not want to get in this water, and that you're just gonna have to put on your best game face and stay positive and realize, okay, the Lord has allowed me to, the Lord has allowed me to have a job
Yeah.
that is playing in order to tell people the gospel and just keep a positive attitude. And even when you don't want to work hard by jumping in this river, like you're going to work hard and jump in the river because it's going to bring joy to these students and provide you an opportunity for deeper conversations and deeper relationship.
Yeah, we've been talking about that even in like we have guy and girl small groups that we meet regularly here throughout the year. And we were just talking about that last week, how cultivating this attitude of thankfulness for whatever it is you're doing, like that's what's going to stave off that like complaining spirit that's going to rise up in us. All of us, no matter the best intentions that we have, are going to want to complain at some point. But if you're just always reminding yourself, of thankfulness, whether it's in the little things of just like, man, we have this awesome job that we get to do, or today is my favorite lunch that we're having in the metal building, all the way up to the big things of like, man, I'm thankful that the Lord God has saved me and has given me breath and life to serve him. And so I'm going to do that joyfully, no matter, what I might be feeling like in my flesh in this moment. And so rec is just an awesome time. We talked about how you grow so much at summer camp. Like rec is an aspect of how you grow like that because it in some ways is the most job like part of the job, but you get to see, man, how do I serve Christ in that and everything that I do?
Mhm. Is there going to be anything new with paintball? As far as course and things go, there won't be, as of right now, there won't be anything new, but there's still 6 months from now till then. So who knows? We'll get the creative juices flowing and see what comes up. Stay tuned.
Yep. Paintball is going to get juicy.
Is there anything else you don't want to talk about as far as, we talked about it a little bit, but being on campus, just maintaining that mentality of being gospel driven. Just speak on that for just a minute.
Oh, we're having technical difficulties.
Should we wait till our faces are back on?
I do my best talking into the mirror. Yeah, I think they can still hear us.
All right. I'm sorry. I forgot the question already.
As far as being on campus, we talk about living on campus, but as far as being on campus, we talked about it a little bit. But as far as like staying gospel driven, staying focused, because it's a long summer,
Mhm.
so just how do you maintain that level of being gospel driven, specifically being on campus?
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
I personally think for that aspect, for being gospel driven and having conversations, I think being on campus is actually better and makes it easier. Being off campus, you're usually guiding a boat, so you're constantly doing something. If you're at the lake, you're driving a boat or doing something like that. So you're more spread out from students and have to be way more intentional to drift towards them on a tube and like latch on to like have a conversation. But if you're working a swing or a tower, things like that, like kids are going to be standing there in line waiting to ride, or they're going to be sitting on a bench or sitting in the snack shack. Like they're right there. And a majority of people are on campus every day. And so for me, I think it's way easier to build relationships and have gospel centered conversations on camp, because you're going to have a little bit more downtime while you're waiting for kids to get unharnessed and harnessing the next one. So you're rubbing shoulders more with students and with more students. And so you have more opportunity to have conversations and build relationships with more people. And so for me, I think on campus working is really like redeeming the time that you're standing like at the harness station. Like that's usually the place where most
Yeah.
people try to avoid working is harnessing people, because it's just monotonous, constantly step in these holes, hold this
Yeah.
strap here. But that's the best time to have conversations, because kids are not, they've been waiting in line for an hour. They're not going to run away if you start to talk to them after standing there for an hour. And so
Mhm.
you really have a lot of time while they're waiting to build relationships, have conversations. So I personally think working an on-campus rec is way easier for building relationships, having conversations, and learning how to work hard and be servant-hearted.
Yeah, I think just to completely echo all of that, like one personal experience I had was when I worked on summer staff a couple years ago. This was during the intern year. I was working the 3-man swing, and one of the best conversations that I ever had with a student was just working that 3-man swing. I was lowering people up and down on it, and one of my students just came up and walked up to the fence and just hung out there and talked with me all day long. We talked for like 4 hours, and some of that was gospel centered, some of that was about the anime that he liked to watch, and I just kind of nodded along. Okay, yeah. But it was such a good time to like get to know that guy, and it's just great, to have your eyes constantly open and looking for those opportunities to pour into people's lives, just in little quick ways, whatever it is that you're doing.
Awesome, yeah, that's good stuff. Are there any other questions? Okay, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to drop them in there. Yeah.
I have a giveaway.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
What's your giveaway?
So here we go. So this is another one. It's who answers the question first. I'm gonna give you 3 options, and it's who tells me which of these was a real wreck at Snowbird. And whoever says it first, when you come and work here, will get to wear
No way.
these sunglasses for a whole week.
Do I get to play?
No, only if you type it in on.
Oh,
So these are your 3 options. Which one of these was a real wreck at Snowbird? Was it frog hunting, puddle jumping, or log flipping? Which one was it?
2 of those actually might be real.
maybe all 3.
Maybe all
Yep.
3, but officially.
Officially named. Yeah, whoever answers first.
Oh,
The second, I've forgotten what I said. What did he?
yeah.
Puddle jumping? All right, so Micah, you have to
How
actually
many of
work
these
here.
has Michael won?
Yeah.
The first? Okay, well done, Micah.
Yeah, Micah's done.
Oh, you can only win once.
Yeah, that's a new rule right now.
What if this has been given away already?
Yeah, all of that stuff actually,
All of this?
all of that.
Ooh.
Do we have any more giveaways?
Oh, yeah, we got some more after the break, which we'll take that break now, and then we'll come back. at 2 o'clock, they talk about what drives the Snowbird, which is our core value.
Yep, Jeff Garner. He drives Snowbird.
Literally. Okay, we're supposed to say bye and then mute it.
All right, here we go.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bye. Oh, I thought we were saying bye.
Never.